Hello, and welcome back to Career Corner. I'm your host, Dion Johnson, and in this month's episode, we will be focusing on the programs Computer Networking and Security, Visual Design and Imaging, Web Design and Application Development, and Interactive Multimedia. Today, we have two guests with us, and our first guest today is Robert McGee, who is a IT system engineer. He graduated from the Computer Networking and Security program, which was known as the Cisco Networking Academy in 2000. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Excited
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Thank you for coming. So our first question for you today is, can you tell us a little bit about your career?
Okay. Yeah. So, in a ballpark, my career has been about 20 years. Starting at Staples, fixing computers there, moving into um, TCESC, fixing school or computers for the school, and then moving to help desk for a bank, and then finally ending up here at Progressive. Um, so it's been a wild ride, but it's
Yeah,
really exciting.
sounds fun. So can you tell us any schooling that's necessary to achieve in the career that you
Yeah,
are currently
I'd
in?
say if you're looking into the IT field, you want to start with at least an associate's.
Okay.
To get into a position where I'm at, most companies are going to look for a bachelor's, but at the very least, if you want to just, I guess, dip your toe in the pond, an associate's degree is where to start.
Cool. So what is your average workday like?
My average workday, I live in Youngstown and I drive up to Cleveland, so I wake up at
Oh, wow.
4, get to work around 6. And I check the health of our environment, make sure all of our virtual machines are running, make sure the network's healthy, and then make sure that over the span of time where I've been gone from the day, make sure people are following the processes and procedures they're supposed to.
Wow, you had me stuck at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could
Yeah,
never get up that early. I don't
yeah.
even know. It doesn't even matter what it's
Uh,
for. 4 o'clock is too early for me.
it takes a lot of fortitude.
So, what is the favorite thing about your career? Like, what do you wake up in the morning and look forward to?
Honestly, the biggest part of my career that I enjoy is the people. I've got to work with a lot of people that have many different backgrounds. A lot of people didn't think that they'd wind up in IT. Some of them were, potentially being drafted for the NBA, the NFL, and they've ended up working at Progressive with me. So it's definitely exciting, and to know that you don't have to have that one background to find out that IT is your one love.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, at this time, we are going to look at our computer networking program, and after that, we will go to Zach with our other guest, Rob Shorts.
Computer Networking and Security. In the Computer Networking and Security program, students will learn network design, computer security skills, database applications, business fundamentals, and PC troubleshooting and repair. This program is designed for those students interested in working with computer hardware and expanding the field of security as the challenge for keeping data safe in a growing online world increases.
Joining me today is Rob Schwartz of Brain Buffet. He teaches people how to use the Adobe softwares. My classmates and I are some of the lucky few who get to use these tutorials in preparation for the Adobe Associates test. How are you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
Pretty good. So, we've seen you from some of your lessons on Photoshop and Premiere, but what are some other things that you do?
Yeah, so lately I've really been starting working on authoring. Like I just really like writing. It's more kind of philosophical, religious, kind of hippie stuff than my Adobe things. But for me, creativity all kind of like fed into it. It's how do we figure out who we are and what our message is for the world? I'm realizing that's always been kind of what I was most interested in. And to become a teacher, design classes that weren't core and I didn't have all that pressure that a lot of like English and math teachers have allowed me to sort of create projects where I got to really figure out who the kids were, what they were about. So just like the last guy you guys interviewed, it's really about the people.
Hmm. Now, I heard you say something about creativity, and uh, what do you think people that don't know about the use of creativity in the IT field?
I think that a lot of people underestimate their own creativity. Um, You know, a network engineer is a super creative person. A programmer is a super creative person. And we don't think about it that way because they don't make pictures or music or something. But creativity is really about here's a problem or here's something that I want to accomplish, whether it's get this message out or get this packet to travel from this computer to that computer. and I don't know how to do that right now. And figuring out the way to do it and not getting stuck in your ruts, being comfortable with failure, being comfortable with experimenting. That's really what creativity is all about. And um, in it, what's cool about creativity, and this is the challenge I had, was I wasn't a real confident person for a long time. So I always wanted somebody to give me the answers and tell me what the next step was. But what creativity is, and I think even what maturity is, what growing is taking a look at your life and going like, what do I want to do next? And what are my goals and how do I get there, whatever they are, and figuring out like the most fun, the most creative, the most efficient way to get it done so that you increase your free time and also you increase the amount of joy and fun that you have while you're actually working.
All right. What kind of professions can you pursue with a background in multimedia or IT?
Um, Anything in multimedia or IT? No, it's really interesting because definitely in multimedia, you can go pretty much anywhere. Like my kids are really into BMX, and I've got one, my youngest son, who's a really good designer, is really good with Illustrator, great with logo design, and I don't know if he'll be like a pro rider. I probably not. He doesn't seem to be that interested in it, but he could go into like the BMX scene and be a guy who makes T-shirts or makes products or something that is like branding. So you buy the T-shirts and you get the cool little stickers for your bike or whatever. That's one of the things I love most about multimedia is that you really every organization, every career, every interest needs some sort of marketing. And that's really what all of this stuff is. Because if you have a podcast, that's marketing. If you have an advertisement, that's marketing. If you have a film, that's marketing for an idea, right? A big idea like hope or redemption or finding joy, overcoming challenges, the hero's quest, right? If you're a Joseph Campbell fan. So I think that with these careers, you can go almost anywhere because in this world, we're so media and technology saturated that everybody needs us, and people like us in this field.
Very cool. So, what are some skills and strengths that you think you should have if you're going to enter this field?
Fearlessness. The number one thing is fearlessness and confidence. And you know, I don't want to upset any teachers listening. I was a teacher for 20 years. I absolutely loved it. But I found that there's a lot of people who feel, and it's because we were told our whole lives growing up that life is about having the right set of answers where somebody will pay you for those answers. I just don't think that's true anymore. I think that it's really about figuring out what you really want to do and and doing it, and just being really creative, having a lot of fun with it. It doesn't matter how much money you make. There is no such thing as success if you're not happy. So I always just encourage kids to find out like what really makes you happy, what makes you feel alive when you're actually doing the work, not when you get the reward for the work, but the work itself makes you come alive. That's what you should do, no matter what it is. Chase the dream, because being rich and successful in a job you hate will just make you feel like you're stuck there because I can't leave because it's how I pay the bills. Don't put yourself in that trap. It's a terrible trap to be in.
Hmm. And lastly, what are some tips or tricks that you would give to someone who wants to pursue this field?
Start playing. Start playing and make sure that when you're doing the work that you're enjoying the work. Like when you're coming up with a logo, you should just enjoy the process of like bouncing those letters around and breaking them apart and reassembling them. That should be fun. If the only part that you think is fun is the outcome, the paycheck or, oh, look, I made that, and you point at something on a building, that's going to fade really fast. It's got to be that when you're in the nitty gritty alone, nobody can see you because you're working up late at night and you're on a deadline and you're all under pressure, but you're still just having a blast. That's the thing to find. And when you find that, you will be successful at that thing. It's just guaranteed because you love doing it. And because you love doing it, you do it more. Because you do it more, you're better at it. Because you're better at it, people will pay you instead of someone else who's worse. It's a super simple formula, but a little bit difficult to see sometimes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Rob. It was great speaking to you.
Thanks, man.
And now we are going to be going to take a look at the web design and application development program, as well as our own home base, the interactive multimedia program here at TCTC.
Web Design and Application Development. The Web Design and Application Development Program is a redesigned program evolving its predecessor, information technology. Students have the opportunity to study all aspects of web design, including web programming, web writing, page layout, design, and the relationship with online business. In addition, students will be given a strong foundation in programming, which is a top 10 growing career in the industry. The new format will open doors to include instruction in growing technologies such as programming mobile applications with Apple's Swift coding platform.
Interactive Multimedia. The Interactive Multimedia Tech Prep program focuses on creating and producing interactive multimedia products and services. There are so many exciting ways to market people and products today, like writing and creating websites, creating graphics, magazines, and brochures. The Interactive Multimedia program has a long history of success in the Business Professionals of America National Leadership Conference. Students will have the opportunity to travel across the country and compete at a national level. Also, you'll be involved in photography as well as creating animations. Students get hands-on experience producing TV programs such as TCTC Time, a bi-weekly show broadcasted to the student body on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, as well as Career Corner, a monthly show broadcasted to middle schools and high schools across Trumbull County. You'll learn all of this hands-on with the newest cameras, computers, and software technology while working with local businesses to help them create the products that they desire. Students also have the opportunity to earn various Adobe certifications that revolve around the video and graphic design industries.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Zach, and this is just a little behind-the-scenes look at the Interactive Multimedia program. Basically, this entire program is all streaming. Everything that you see here is all the tools that we use to actually get this show to you guys. So over here we have our TriCaster. This entire setup is what is connect all the cameras, all the microphones, everything that you could possibly imagine for streaming is all plugged into this, and we have the most experienced people that we can using the keys to swap through different cameras and different settings. Over on the other side of the room we have a soundboard that controls all the volumes of the mics, and really this is just it's basically just a warehouse for technology. So if you're interested in technology and streaming and creating content and videos, you should definitely think about multimedia. Now we're going to send it back and we're going to take a look at a visual design and imaging program here at TCTC.
Visual Design and Imaging. In the Visual Design and Imaging program, you will learn to design and produce advertisements and marketing projects from start to finish. Students are taught to provide excellent customer service while interpreting job specifications, estimating ordering, and delivering client projects on schedule. Creative students completing this program can even become an Adobe Certified Associate Visual Design Specialist by receiving their certifications in Adobe Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. My name is Liv, your VR specialist. Today, we're looking into 4 programs here at the Trumbull Career and Technical Center: Interactive Multimedia, Web Design and App Development, Computer Networking, and Visual Design. Each of these labs have their own unique input on the Information Technology cluster. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first lab we're looking at here today is Visual Design. Here, you can screen print shirts, as well as a multitude of other printing jobs. You can also become an Adobe specialist in InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, and I think that's actually pretty much it. It's not the right video. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's the only lab I'm showing you today. Here at Multimedia, we get Photoshop and Premiere certifications. In computer networking, you can build firewalls and other computer-related aspects. Anyway, You can make sure to check out the TCTC's website if you have any information, any questions about the programs you want to see here. Make sure to check out our website for more VR tours and lab videos. Now it's about time for me to log out. Back to you, Dion.
Hello. Now, here's the time where it's time to get out your career tech takeaway papers. This is the time where you'll be able to ask yourself, do I want to get into any of the fields that we talked about this month? Your teacher should be able to provide you with a career tech takeaway paper. If you do not have the paper, it is on our Career Corner website. We would like to thank you for coming to the show today. Anything that you would like to say before we close out?
The last thing I would like to say is, now I'm a systems engineer, but in 2002 I wanted to create video games and didn't work out that way. It's okay to change your route as many times as you need to, as long as you find something you love at the end.
Absolutely. All right, and that's been Career Corner this month. I will see you next month on February 12th, where we will be talking about health science.